Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. Today's meeting is October 1st, 2024. I'm David Vogel, County Judge Executive. Welcome all of you here today on behalf of all the members of our court. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you brought a cell phone with you, please turn it to off or vibrate. Holly, please call the roll.
Magistrate Likens.
Here.
Magistrate Tice.
Here.
Magistrate Woosley.
Here.
Magistrate Jeffries.
Here.
Magistrate Hounds.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Here.
Magistrate Dye.
Present.
Magistrate Logsdon.
Here.
Judge Vogel.
Here. Having all the members of the fiscal court present, this meeting is now in session. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
Second.
Are there
Judge,
any?
I'd like to bring up that we would like to pull under the contracts resolutions, we'd like to pull item D, which is tax incentives resolution.
All right.
And postpone that till another court date.
All right. Any other discussion here? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. The first item here is I'd like to ask you to approve the minutes from our last meeting of September 17th. Everyone's had these for a few days and a chance to look through them. Are there any corrections?
Second.
Motion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Public comment time. Is there anyone here who'd like to address the fiscal court about an item of community interest?
Thank you, Judge and members of the Fiscal Court. I just want to remind everyone that we are having a household hazardous waste and electronics collection event this coming Saturday at the Oldham County Road Department. This is where we will have all of our special collection events from now on. And it will be from 9 to 3 p.m. We are expecting having traffic, and we're prepared for that with cooperation from our police department and some very stalwart volunteers. But we're encouraging folks to bring all the items that you wouldn't want a 2-year-old to get a hold of, and all those electronics, any electronics, except the only ones we can't manage on that day are full-size refrigerators and freezers, but we can take those any other day when the recycling center is open or manned, and that's Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 2:30. So I appreciate all you magistrates pushing that out to your constituents that you've done all this summer. I'm very grateful for that. I've been getting lots of calls, and I'm looking forward to a very busy day on Saturday.
Friday?
All right.
Or is it not Saturday?
This Saturday?
Right, I thought you just said Friday.
Nope, Saturday.
Okay, I guess I misheard you. Sorry. All right, great. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Household hazardous waste at the road department.
At the road
All right.
department. Okay.
Thank you. Any
Thank you.
questions anybody has? Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
I don't name an address.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Jim Allen. I'm the president of Crystal Lake, and I've been here before to tell you the same thing. Your road department and your engine department are the best I've ever encountered. And I wanted to keep thanking them, except this time I actually brought a picture because you're going to get tired of me saying thank you. I got proof. If I can click it. So there is a culvert that's on the county road, Crystal Drive, and it runs between this little lake and our main lake. And they took out an old culvert here and replaced it. I thought I could do a left click, didn't work, with this. So this is the downstream side of it, and this is the upstream side of it, and you'll notice that the weather's kind of foreboding. They did this hours before the storm hit. And we really appreciate them getting out there in the drizzle and doing this and made a beautiful job of it. And thanks to Ben Kimler and his crew for doing this. It's helped us a lot. We really appreciate it. That's all I have.
All right, well, we're happy that you're satisfied. We always enjoy good news here, and I think they have done a good job, all the road department and our storm drainage group. All right, Amy Alvey, welcome.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Amy Alvey, Oldham County Clerk. As promised, I told you would be back as many times as I could, just to remind everyone that is watching or listening regarding the election days and early voting. Again, early voting is October 31st, which is Halloween, Friday, November 1st, and Saturday, November 2nd. There are 2 locations this year, John Black Center and Crestwood Baptist Church. So we are going to be extremely busy. As of this morning, we have sent out 1,054 absentee ballots and around 85 military ballots that have gone overseas. So we've surpassed what we obviously did in May, but even in 2022, which wasn't a presidential, but was a very, very busy election. So last day to register to vote is October the 7th. You can update your information by coming to our LaGrange office and completing a new voter registration card, or you can go to the state website and update your information at govote.ky.gov. And then again, on election day, we have 9 locations, the same 9 locations that we utilized last election, and they're on the screen as well. Hopefully today, when you approve the bills, you'll approve a bill that is in there for the postcards that will be mailed out to every household in Oldham County. So as soon as that check is signed tomorrow, I will pick it up and deliver it to Noteworthy, and they will print and get the postage on those, and hopefully they'll be in households by this time next week. So, any questions?
Just
Manager
one,
Jeffries.
just one, Amy, I was wondering how the CAVA system, is it working better now? Is things staying online most of the time? And
Pretty much so. It's one of those things that they will do an update over the weekend, and then when we come in on Monday, something a simple task that we could do, and we've been doing for the past 9 months, we can't do any longer, and it just takes an hour or so for them to reverse whatever update that they did, and then we're back online. But it is getting better. Hopefully, everyone will be through the system, through the first year of the cycle of the new system, where it's catching delinquent bills or vehicles that have not had taxes collected on them in the past, because they merged the boat and the motor vehicle side together. So hopefully come January 1 of 2025, it's going to go a lot smoother, because everyone has been through the system at least once. But it still does have hiccups. We also went to KYELT, where it's electronic filing for liens, and then they also opened the dealer portal, where dealers no longer have to either overnight or mail us their paperwork. They can submit it all electronically online. So if it's out of state, they can register through the state system and then send everything to us electronically rather than sending it through the mail. So we've had a few of those so far.
and just one other question, what about the license plates where everybody keeps their plates now? Does that seem to be working pretty well?
I think so. I think the confusion part of that has worn off some. We haven't seen an uptick in vehicle purchases right now, but hopefully with new interest rates and everything coming down, that people will start buying again and realizing dealerships have done a good job with explaining that to them, that, we're going to take the plate off the car you're trading in, and they'll make a photocopy of it, submit it with their paperwork, and then we assign that to the new vehicle. We have had people that have gone through the process and gone ahead and put their old license plate on their new car before we've assigned it. Please don't do that. Wait until you get your paperwork from us saying that we've assigned it to that vehicle. Because if you get pulled over and it's no longer an 85 Chevy pickup truck, it's a 2025 Ford. So, but
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's slowly but surely getting better. So,
Okay.
Still has hiccups.
Thank you.
Manager Howland.
I saw a news article the other day about the school systems complaining, some of the school systems complaining about being poll locations. What's the story behind that
Your microphone's not on.
So this is the question is that and it was actually in Bullitt County, is the legislation, I believe it was House Bill 55. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was 55, where it says that any publicly funded building can be used as a voting center. It does not say just on election day. So the rub has been whether they're using those for early voting. We don't use any of the schools for early voting at this time. I have a great working relationship with the superintendent and said we'll do everything we can do not to do that, because what happens is that they have to close school on Thursday and Friday, and then obviously Saturday, Sunday, and then typically they're closed on Monday and they're closed on Tuesday for election day. So that the article was leading down the path of whether or not they were going to see if the Board of Education and superintendents were going to see if they could get the bill updated to where it only included that for the use of the schools for election day and not for early voting.
Okay.
But no, we don't utilize any schools for early voting, just for election day, and it's worked out great so far.
Magistrate Dye.
Amy,
Yes, sir.
you had that card there with the date.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be mailing them again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And what was the other thing you said you were going to mail?
That card. This is the postcard that's in
Okay.
your payables to noteworthy. As long as you approve that bill today, I'll pick the check up tomorrow and deliver it.
Oh, I
There.
thought you scared me. I thought you said tax bills.
No, not yet.
Thank you.
You'll get your tax bill. Don't worry.
Yeah, well.
All right, thank you,
All right,
Amy.
thank you.
Appreciate it. The next item on our agenda is a presentation of the budget information for fiscal year 25 from the Oldham County Health Department. Happy to welcome Director Matt Rhodes.
Thank you. I think that's pretty straight. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Matt Rhodes. Have the great pleasure of serving as director for the Oldham County Health Department. Today, I'm actually here to provide our annual report from the Board of Health Taxing District. We're required each year to come and present that information to Fiscal Court, and by statute, I serve as the secretary to the Board of Health, so I'm here representing the Board of Health today. And I'm happy to say, even with increasing prices and challenges that we're all facing with the economy, that the board agreed that we would maintain the taxing district, tax rate for our taxing district at 2.5 cents. You can see this is the resolution. It was passed at our Board of Health meeting on the 31st of May. We typically like to get here earlier than I did this year. Unfortunately, I had knee replacement surgery in July, so it's pushed things back a bit. So we're presenting that to you today, and maintaining the 2.5 cents rate is the same rate that has been maintained since 2016. So we're almost 10 years maintaining the same rate. And then I will share with you how this details as it relates to the budget information for the taxing district. As you can see, with a 2.5 cent rate at $100 for the assessed property evaluation, that generates in total revenue of $2.291,357. That's $2,291,357. We do have some income that's in the reserve fund for the taxing district that is maintained because in 2019, you all may recall the pension liability, the accrual for allocations that was done by the state in 2019. The Oldham County Health Department was given a $10.5 million unfunded liability for that pension liability. So with that money that's invested in CDs, there was $150,000 projected to be earned. The disbursements to the Board of Health, to the Health Department for the appropriation will be $2 million. There's some other funds for liability and professional services for auditing, and also for the special purpose governmental entity fee for the taxing district. So the total disbursement will be $2,011,816, and the net revenue versus expense is $429,541. So with that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
Matt, you may just review for the magistrates the difference between the health department and the taxing district.
Yes.
So they're clear about it, and the public as well.
Right, and the health department has an operational budget, but the Board of Health serves as that special purpose governmental entity that has the authority to levy the health tax for the community. So they serve as the taxing district for our county for setting what the health tax rate is each year.
Right, so the taxing district generates revenue, and in turn, it funds the board. And you're reporting today, do you have to report on the board's, I think you come and report on board's expenses as well periodically, don't you?
Well, just the taxing rate. I mean, we can come back and present on information if you would like to do that. But typically speaking, we report on what the taxing district generates and then what the disbursement is to the department for its operational budget. I can give you a brief overview. Our operational budget for the department is roughly $3.5 million for FY25, and you can see $2 million is raised in revenue from local taxes. We get roughly $500,000 from state fees, or state revenues, $500,000 from federal revenues, and then about $500,000 from receipts that we generate revenue from clinical services and environmental services.
Anybody have, Magistrate Jeffries?
Just one question on your tax, or how is your building funded? Is that part of this, or is that when y'all built a new health department out in Commerce? Is that how's that funded?
It is funded through capital projects, and if there's capital projects that need to be completed, we either get it from local tax dollars, or occasionally we will have federal grants that will allow us capital improvement projects to occur as well.
So I assume that's a long-term debt that y'all are working on or paying on that building?
No, that building's paid. That building is paid off. And,
okay.
But any new development, new capital improvement projects is paid through the operational budget, through whatever revenue stream that is designated appropriate, and that's all approved by the board through our quarterly board meetings.
Okay, thank you.
Magistrate
Hawkins.
Hawkins, right?
Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Did you tell the judge that you would give the full budget to his office? Did I hear you say that instead of just a summary, just a little bit?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay. I think you've kind of done it after the fact the last couple of years.
Okay. Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be happy to do that.
All right, I know that the health department has generated some ideas for the fiscal court to consider regarding fighting opioid abuse in our community, and you'll be coming back in a couple of weeks to do that.
Right.
And and we've also funded jointly mental health services through the last year in the public school system, and I believe the health department continued that again this year.
Absolutely.
So,
everything that we do is a community-wide effort. Our primary focus is the health of the population in this community, and whatever we can do to improve that and improve health outcomes, we're all in.
all right, thank you very much, Matt.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you being here. Now, the next item on the agenda are the bills for the previous 2 weeks.
Make a motion that we pay the payables.
Second.
All right. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Under contracts and resolutions, item B, Kentucky Clean Water Program grant funding. Conditional commitment. Jim Sullivan will discuss it.
Good afternoon, Jim Silliman, Oldham County Engineer. So over the past few years, we've been coordinating with our regional planning agency, KIPTA, for funding of stormwater projects, as they recognize that while the Cleaner Water Program typically funds drinking water and sanitary sewer projects, they recognize that stormwater projects can also affect that through reducing velocity, volume, other factors that impact clean water. So recently, Louisville Water Company had 2 projects that came in well under budget, under estimated budget, and as a result freed up $274,486. And through communication with the water company and KIPTA, we were able to secure that for our Clovercroft Confederate Estates and Ashbrook Drainage Improvement Project, which is currently in preliminary design phase. So we've already started that project, and we can utilize this money to further the design and construction. So what the package you have that was provided is actually the complete package for this grant that will be utilized through design and construction and wrap up. All I'm asking for today is that Fiscal Court approve the judge executive to sign the conditional commitment letter. I'm also asking that Fiscal Court approve a 2.5% payment to KIPTA. It's 2.5% of that grant amount, which would result in $6,862.15. And that's for the KIPTA to assist in the administration of this grant.
What was the number again?
What's that?
What was the number again?
$6,862.15. It's really a small amount, I think, for them to assist in making sure we cross all our T's and dot all our I's. This is a grant that we've actually never had for the county that I'm aware of, and it's new to us. And while I think we're very capable of administering, a small price to help make sure we do it right is not a lot. So again, I'm asking that you approve the judge to sign the conditional commitment letter and accept that 2.5% amount. And I think for all awareness also, we had actually already budgeted $240,000 for the fiscal year 25 budget for this project for design and some preliminary construction. So we'll actually have to accelerate that a little bit to spend all the grant money.
Judge, I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second that.
All right, moved and seconded. Discussion on that?
So we'll be finished by this time next year. I
Doubt it.
can
Be
hope.
started.
I can
He
hope.
started.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll discuss item C, Motorola change order for a fence installation. Bo Glass.
Thank you, Judge. Bo Glass, Oldham County Dispatch. I'm seeking your approval for your signature on this change order to allow Motorola be the vendor to install the fence at the base of the new radio tower at Ballardsville Fire Department.
All right, that is how much?
The cost is $13,785.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? Magistrate Logston.
Bo, how come when, this is because they had to change everything on the outside and put it on the outside?
No, sir. Actually, in the original agreement with Motorola, the county was responsible for the fence. And at the original onset, we thought maybe we could just have that done locally. But however, after getting local estimates and including the local vendors did not want to do the grounding that goes along with it, it was just more logistically feasible to have Motorola do it. They do it at all their other sites. So
Was there a cost? What was the difference in cost? Do you remember?
I don't have the other proposal in front of me. One fence company did not want the job. Another one I checked with, the cost was right at $12,000 and some change, and this one's $13,000. The $12,000 did not include the grounding, so I would have had to go out and find somebody else to come in and do the grounding.
We had this in the plan all along. We were going to do, outside we were going to do the fence, the electrical work, and the pouring of the pad for the dumpster that we relocated for Ballardsville.
Correct.
Magistrate Dye.
And just for the court's information, I'll have Bo back in 2 meetings, and you'll say we're done with this, right?
That's the goal.
All right, so,
I'm not committing to that, but that is a goal.
so stay tuned.
All right, hearing no further questions, all in favor of us going forward with this fence with Motorola, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
The next item here is item under committee reports and recommendations. Recommendation, this is Mr. Silliman to release the erosion control surety bond for the Cherry Grove subdivision and the performance bond, erosion control and performance bond.
Yes, sir. First, we have the recommendation to release the erosion control surety for Cherry Grove subdivision. That is in Pewee Valley. We've been coordinating with Pewee Valley Mayor Bob Rogers and his engineer for inspection of this project, and the developer has completed this in accordance with our ordinances and the construction plans. Therefore, I recommend Fiscal Court release the letter of credit number 3194 in the amount of $3,900.
Judge, I'll move that we release the Cherry Grove subdivision bond in the amount of $3,900.
Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Second, we have the recommendation to release the Cherry Grove subdivision performance surety. That performance surety is actually 2 checks, each in the amount of $10,000. Similar to the erosion control surety, we've inspected this with the city of Pee Wee, and so I'm asking that Oldham County Fiscal Court release the $20,000 performance surety.
And just so the court will know, that did come through road committee with a positive recommendation. So I'll move that.
Second. All right, moved and seconded. We release the performance bond. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. And for your information, since these are in the city of Pee Wee Valley, you don't need to take the roads into the county maintenance system. So.
Item F from the Building Committee, award for painting our fiscal court building.
Thank you,
Sir, I
Judge.
understand there was a discussion on this morning. quite a
It
bit
was.
of talk
Came
about
through,
it. Rodney, come on up. You want to go ahead, Brent?
It came through our committee today and we voted to approve the cost, $80,897 for repainting of the fiscal court building. There was a question on color, whether we try to match the courthouse across the street or not, and we kind of left that open for you and Rodney to work out, make sure we get the right color.
All right. I guess you're making a motion.
So I would make a motion that we accept the bid from White House Painting for
White House for
$80,897.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Let's talk about that for just a second. When you say match the courthouse, what specifically, what part of this building are we talking about? And, versus, I think when the idea came up, I believe we thought about just redoing it as is. But when you say match, what part? Bricks, the trim over there is white. So we want to put, do we have white on this building or do we have a cream color?
I bid it out to be as is or very similar. Obviously, 10 years worth of fading, it's going to be hard to match, but it's going to be very similar to what it already is. It's been suggested to do the peaks to match the peaks over here, which are white, but there's no white on this building anywhere. The gutters are dark brown. The metal flashing around any of the gutters is dark brown, which it all had to be painted white. So I would like to go just like as is.
So we were looking for some suggestions as far as color goes.
Do you have a
Well,
picture?
I'm a little confused about what you want us to execute here.
Judge, maybe I can.
Rodney's suggesting go with as is. I think Magistrate Likens is suggesting that there could be some alterations here. So where are we?
Maybe I can add something to that, Judge. I'll park across the street, and every time I come in here, I look at the building that we're in here. There's two. There's an old building, there's a new building. Well, the two gable areas don't match. Some's got more brown and more trim on it than the other side. Then you got the gable, the ends of the gables. If you look at this building, it's an off color, it's not white. But you look across the street, some of them are white, some of them are red. So I said, would it make sense to make this building match that building? And Rodney said, well, they should have designed that building to match our building. But anyway, it's a suggestion that was brought up that, if we're going to make that change, now is that time to do it. And if we're not going to make the change to match the building across the street, then at least we could try to make the two buildings match. I think we talked about that once in committee, hadn't we, Rodney? Where the trim was different from one building to the next.
We had a little discussion on it, yes, which.
Yeah. So, it's just, we were going to leave it up to for you and Joe Ender to talk about if you all wanted to do that. We were more than willing to change the colors if that's what you wanted to do, but we still want to go with Great House. A White House, I mean.
Okay, right, I understand. Magistrate, okay. Well, no, I don't want to be second guessed after we do it, but when we're getting it, let's say, in unclear instruction here.
It wouldn't be second guess because you're basically saying we're making this building match the other one. There is no other guess to make.
Okay.
Or we leave it as is.
Does White House, some places you can go and, one time I came up with an artistic rendition from a person in town here of this, painting this entire building white to see what it would look like, like the White House. We didn't go anywhere with it, but I had it. I wonder if White House can take the colors that you want and let us see what it looks like on a computer before we actually apply it to the building, if that's possible.
Well,
I don't know.
Prather could do that for you.
Who?
That's a great
Prather.
idea.
Prather, Michael Prather. Okay. Magistrate Logston and then Stephanie.
Are y'all finished with the colors? Because I have a different question.
Okay, I guess she wants to talk about colors, okay.
Well, this is off the cuff. I didn't realize we were going to be talking about this today, but our brick is a little bit more of an orange hue, and the one across the street is going to be a different color. So I think as much as we can match the two, full well knowing that the two bricks are going to be different, I think we should try to do that to keep it cohesive. That's off the cuff without staring at it like I probably would had I known we were going to talk about it.
Ashley Logston.
Are we finished with the paint?
Pardon?
No.
Well, we're still talking colors?
Yes.
Let's stick with colors until we move to something else. All right. Magistrate Woosley was next, and then you. Okay.
We already have problems with folks understanding which courthouse to go to when the courthouse was here. This would be a good opportunity for us to stand apart from that building, to say, go to the Cream Building or go to the courthouse. So I would like to see it stay the same color or a different color than from across the street, just so we can hold our own identity to say, go to the Fiscal Court Building or go to the Cream Building or whatever, not the same color as across the street, so that folks know which courthouse to go to. It's just my opinion.
All right.
Thank you.
Magistrate Hounds.
You can go to Google Maps and pull up a picture of the building that's
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh,
with
yeah, right there.
the colors.
Yeah, see,
And
it's orange.
if we do change it, I mean, it would be fine. We could leave the gutters, you could paint the gutters, you could leave the flashing or not. But I think that now is a perfect opportunity if we're going to do that. But Magistrate Woosley just took my whole thunder because I was saying we paint the building white so I think it would stand out more. But then now you're making the comment about being able to differentiate the two buildings. But we do have fiscal court on ours, and I do think there's things we could do to set our building apart from the one next door with some landscaping and that may help accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. But I do like the white. I think that would stand out. The white pillars and everything would.
I mean, white on all woodwork.
All woodwork.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's see, who was next? Magistrate Tyson.
I personally like the original color that we got when we got the building. And it's a taupe, classical looking, and it looks very classy and very professional building. Over the years, we've done some contrasting this and that, and I just happen to like the others. Now, you've got 8 magistrates, and all of a sudden you get 8 ideas. That's you can't even handle that. There's no way. That's too much. I would suggest that maybe the magistrates, if they have definite thoughts on it, to take it to the judge directly, and that way he can think about it. I'm just not sure this is the way for us to handle it.
All right, Magistrate Jeffries.
Yes, I would agree with Kevin Woosley, Magistrate Woosley, that we stay with the color that we've got. I don't know whether we're going to get into more of an issue if we change the brown gutters to white. Is it going to require more paint? And more. Are they going to have to put another primer on to cover up that brown and whatever? So I like his idea of staying a little bit different from what's right across the street so that folks can, say we're going to Fiscal Court building and, know that it's a little bit different from what the new courthouse is going to be. So I kind of like Magistrate Woosley's suggestion.
Okay. So I'll ask Rodney, if we don't go with exactly the same colors we have, could the price go up because of the need to apply more than one coat?
I believe it will go up because I don't have in the budget. It's not been bid out to do the gutter work, downspouts, any metal flashing to be painted. So that would add cost to it. Whereas if you stay physically like we are right now, the gutters won't be touched. They'll just be cleaned. Downspouts will just be cleaned. Any metal work will just be cleaned. The doors will all be repainted. Anything that's already the taupe color will remain taupe.
And does White House replace any deteriorated wood?
Yes, we took a walk around today, and we pointed out different areas, and she suggested yes, all this will be taken care of.
All right. Okay. Well, let me say this about the colors. What we'll do here is we'll get a hold of an artist or White House, somebody that has the ability to put more than one appearance on the building in different colors, and we'll sit down and share that with everybody, see if we can get a consensus on what looks best. Okay, I hear a need to freshen it up, be a little bit different, and I would say several years ago I came up with a picture of the entire building white. And I don't know if anybody liked that or not, but we don't have to go that far maybe. But we'll see what we can find before we do anything. And that way everybody will have a chance to react. Magistrate Logston.
Just a couple things. Refresh my memory. Was this the only bid we got to paint, or were there a couple bids?
You received 2 bids. The first bidder pulled out as he only bid to do the detail work, not the body of the building, nor the columns, the doors. He only bid for part of it. So that's why he pulled his bid out. And that was the only 2 bids we had.
Right. So did this bid count? I know it'll caulking and stuff like that, but it didn't do any of the soffit work that needs to be done.
The other bid did not.
Okay. And I would just question you all, or not question, but caution you all about painting the whole building, because when you do, that's a maintenance nightmare for the rest of its life, because when you paint brick, eventually you have to paint it again. So just think about that when you're thinking about painting.
Well, we won't make any decisions on any paint applications at this point. We'll
just in
try to
case
come
I'm not
up
in
with
the
what
room.
we can come up with based on what we've heard here, and let everybody weigh in on their reaction. Okay?
This will add time. She's prepared to do it next week, but if we decide different colors or whatever, it may take us into spring of next year.
All right, we hear that. Is that acceptable or not acceptable?
I think we should table it until we decide, Judge.
All right. All right, so do we want to just table this item and get these other colors? We want to go forward and tell the White House that we'll give them a job when we get ourselves determined on exactly what application color we want.
Judge,
I'll move to
we're
table.
running out of time for the year to get this painted with weather. I think we need to approve the contract, and then the color is something that you can come up with a little input from some of the magistrates later on.
As long as you don't have to
but
put another primer
I don't
on
want
it,
to hold
the
this
color
up for
shouldn't
another
matter a
couple
whole
of
lot.
weeks based on just picking a color.
Well, if we have to do this, the soffits and the downspouts a different color, then there might be a cost adjustment.
You don't have to paint it.
No.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to go ahead and with White House and then determine what the colors will be maybe in the next couple of weeks. So they need more than, I know we're kind of getting into the fall here where the weather changes in mid-October and it
She
gets
said
dicey.
she likes to be done before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So it gives her a couple of weeks,
All right.
but
All right, well, we can probably come up by the next meeting with the colors. So, all right, do we want?
Do you want me to move to table? Would that be acceptable?
Well, it's up to Magistrate Likens if he wants to withdraw his motion, or if he wants to go forward with a vote.
I'd like to go forward with the vote. Let's get them on board and
All
get
right.
it scheduled. Get it
Well,
scheduled.
We'll go forward with a vote, but just will assure the court here that we're not going to move forward past the vote until we have some consensus on what this is going to be. Okay. So all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right. The next item are personnel items here under G. We do have a new hire for animal control, Austin Wagner, a new officer at $15 an hour, effective tomorrow.
19, Judge.
Pardon?
19.
Okay, sorry, I can't read far enough. Okay, at $19 an hour, I'm sorry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Next person, resignation, with no vote needed here, Colin Maher is leaving us from our police department. We thank him for his service and wish him the best in the future. And then in my office here, we have another, Allison Thompson has left us and for another position. We thank Allison for being with us and wish her the best in her new opportunity. But we have a new hire in my office. That would be Jody Hackworth, administrative assistant, accounting clerk at $28.21 an hour, effective on October 17th. Make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I guess maybe it's a question for the police chief, but we seem to have, I won't say a revolving door, but it's more regular to have a police change than almost any other, it seems like. Are we considering hiring recruits that in the past it seems like they have stuck with us for a longer period of time?
I'll ask the chief to come forward and respond to that, and I won't try to outflank his response. I'd just say that right now, police are in a very competitive position. You know, we've moved our game up considerably. We think we're on a fairly even playing field with other people in the region, but not entirely. But then some have individual circumstances that might cause them to do something different. And I think I can't go into it in this detail. We appreciated Officer Mayor for being here. Something about his family circumstance caused him to have to make a change. But go ahead, Chief.
Your question was hiring laterals or recruits?
Yes, sir.
A lateral we can hire and get up and running within a matter of weeks. A recruit, 20 weeks of DLCJT training, FTO training with us. So we're looking 9-10 months minimum before that person will fill a vacancy. It is a greater advantage to us to hire an experienced officer and get them on the road quicker than it would be to hire a recruit. And the judge is absolutely right. Right now, it's very competitive to hire the police. Salary-wise, we are competitive. Benefits-wise, maybe not quite as much. But we really haven't had trouble hiring people. It's just a very competitive market right now.
It seems like in the past we've had better success with longevity with the recruits. I understand the 9 to 12 months. I get that. Same thing with dispatch. We've talked about it with dispatch too. When you hire a new person, they got to go through school and then understand the ins and outs of the Oldham County system. And it takes time. Just also trying to get people in the county that know the county better than, not picking on anybody we've hired, but if they've lived in the county for as long as some people have, they know the county better and street names and different things.
That's true. I mean, if you know the county, you're going to probably assimilate a lot quicker to the geographical area than you would if you didn't. But the fact of the matter is, we have lost recruits that we hired to other agencies.
I'm sorry, one more time.
We have lost recruits
yes.
that we've hired to other agencies because it's a competitive market. That's all there is to it. I mean, we're not short right now. We're one vacancy down right now. We
This
are
make
look-
two or this make
No,
one?
we hired Eric Mankin. So with Colin leaving, that puts us one down.
Okay.
So I mean, personnel wise, we're not in bad shape, and we've hired some very good officers on top of that. I mean, they're doing a really good job and done really well so far working in the county. But I think this is going to be a continuous problem, not just for us, but for a lot of agencies. I mean, it is. I was talking to Rick Sanders at J-Town one night, and he said, before they'd get 50, 60 applications. He said now they're down to 17 and 18 sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just the nature of the employment market right now for police.
Thank you.
And I will add that all the negativity doesn't help.
Right, there's probably a finite market to deal with
It
here.
is.
I mean, because of the negativity about police, you see this stuff, younger people steer away from the career, and some do anyway. I mean, I've often wondered, if you could go to some place like, I'll just pick a place out, I'll say Bristol, Connecticut, where somebody is, taking a beating or whatever, and say, would you like to come here to, maybe we need if you'll move to Oldham County and bring your skill set here out of some other place where you're, getting, a more dangerous, rough environment, maybe we'd be better off. But there's just a certain number of people in the pool around here,
Right.
and unfortunately, and we all know that everybody likes to get paid as much as they can get paid, regardless of where they are. So you step back when the environment is worth a certain amount of money to you, how far you have to travel. At one time, I had to go through 9 stoplights to get to the place where I worked. And, I stood on the 12th or 13th floor of the building, and I looked out the window, and I kept wondering, well, why don't I live across the street? But it was still worth it to me to live in Oldham County to drive through those 9 stoplights. But somebody else might make a different decision. But I agree with you. I mean, we've got 40 people in our police department?
Actually, we're 47.
47.
We got 11 SROs and
there's going to be, that's a high enough number where there's going to be something happen in the demographic pool more frequently than any other department we have.
I think all in all, we're doing actually pretty well in attracting a good officer. So I mean, I'm very comfortable with the officers we're hiring. We got good people.
I'm not disputing that.
And I'm not as concerned today as I was prior to the step plan being put in place. I was very concerned
I remember
then.
those conversations.
6, 7 vacancies, and that made me more thinking about leaving. We'd have been in critical condition. But I think we've come a long way in a short period of time, so we're doing pretty good. Plus, we're in a position we can be selective. And that's an advantage, too. We don't have to have a warm body. We can get a good person in here.
Okay, well, do you have a question, Magistrate?
We talked about it a little bit, or circled around it a minute ago. What is the recruit situation? Are kids going into this as a career field as much as they were, say, before 2020?
Just from my observation of other departments, not so much ours, but other departments, nationally across the country, it's down.
Okay.
It is down. And I think there's a lot of dynamics involved in that as to why that is. What helped us was the increase in salary helped us a lot. And plus, we have a good reputation in Oldham County. That's another thing that's beneficial to us. But as I said a minute ago, this negativity with the police, I think it's more harmful than what most people thought.
Right.
And then the riots that some of the major cities went through, that left a lasting impression that a lot of younger officers, I just don't think they want to get into that. And besides, when something happens, the law really doesn't work in our behalf sometimes, I think. And most times we have to prove ourselves innocent, even though, we're guilty before we're innocent. And that's difficult sometimes for the police. It's hard to deal with. And I think a combination of all of that is the heavy burden right now for some people when they think about going in law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to young people when I get a chance to. Tell them there's just positives, but they're more aware than what you think.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
They are.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Okay.
All right, we're at our second public comment for today. Is there anybody that would like to address the court? I think, seeing no one, we'll close that, and any court members will go through anybody who'd like to speak. Magistrate Logston, you have anything today?
I want to say thank you to all the road department and District 5 for all the work they did in Oldham County in the past storm damage. Also the workers in Pee Wee Valley. I think we should have a minute of silence for all the people in southern United States that some bodies that still haven't been found. So they were devastated down there. So if we could do that.
Sure.
Thank you. Oh, we're still going?
Magistrate Dye.
Yes. We always hear about these people that are trying to get new computers and get your information from you and all that. That seems to be an ongoing course on television and on radio. Get this, get that. Well, I got one of those emails the other day, and I thought it was trying to get, financial information out of me. And it was really probably one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. Most of the time the spelling's bad or the English is bad, or you can usually tell a hacking email. But this one came from a local firm, Riverlink. Everybody know who Riverlink is? Mm-hmm. That's the person, that's the group that collects your money through out of your bank or symbol of your credit card for going across one of the towed bridges. Well, I kind of looked at it. I kind of, I did. Of course, I didn't click on the link. I'm that smart. But it was actually, they had the emblem. It was perfectly. I compared it to the actual Riverlink site. I mean, it was almost on spot. So, Max said, just another way to tell people they're getting better. Make sure that you get better in spotting these emails. Some of them are so pathetically obvious. But this one, I thought to myself, somebody really worked on this one. Thank you.
So what are you trying to say?
I received one of those as well.
Did you?
Yes, and I knew immediately it was a fake, not because I checked it out like you did, because I know that I haven't been in southern Indiana in the last 8 months.
I don't have a Riverlink
I never
account.
crossed the bridge anymore since they put those tolls up. But so I knew that it couldn't be me, but.
I don't even have a count.
Yeah, right.
If I'm going to Indiana, I take the 2nd Street Bridge.
How would they know?
Yep.
Magistrate Hawkins.
We have a couple of the solid waste bidders in the house, and I just wanted to say welcome to you all. We're going to try to bring this to fiscal court on our next meeting, October 15th, so you guys can have that information and be settled with that. And then I also wanted to reiterate what Amy, our clerk, said earlier in public comment, and that is you have less than a week now to register to vote. It's very important. Govote.ky.gov, and next Monday is going to be your last day. So I would just encourage, if you're not registered, to register. That's all I have today, Judge.
Magistrate Hounds.
Thank you, Judge. 2 years ago, 2 years and a week or two, Michael Logston and I took a trip to Eastern Kentucky and cooked hamburgers and pork chops and everything for those folks that were
darn it.
in Eastern Kentucky that were devastated by the floods. It was a humbling experience to go to Eastern Kentucky. Last week, I had an opportunity to go back with my daughter and Hand in Hand Ministries and build a ramp for a person who was struggling. Ramp was in really bad shape. We took, a group of us took 19 young ladies out there and built 2 ramps. Very humbling experience in the fact that it's not that far away from home, about a 3-hour drive. And it makes you think about what we have in Oldham County. And the judge kind of talked about this a minute ago about how he was proud. I'm not putting words in your mouth, Judge, but I think that was kind of what you were saying, to live in Oldham County and you were willing to drive through those stoplights to get to and from your work. So just ask people to take a minute to think about what you have and remember those that don't have as much. And there are people that are relatively close to home that could use your assistance. parlaying into that is we will, as the county fiscal court or the fiscal court, be doing the food drive again. But we're going to try to up our game, and we're going to start earlier this year. So probably in a couple of weeks, I've got bins that I'm going to get set out in different places to ask people to put food donations in, and then we'll distribute them to local entities that can use the food for the upcoming holidays. Believe it or not, it's the 1st of October, and Christmas will be here. Thanksgiving will be here before we know it.
Okay, thank you. Magistrate Jeffries.
Yes, Judge. Just a couple things. Just want to announce that as of today, October 1st, the burn ban in Oldham County has been lifted, and I know, from these past storms we've had through the summer and here in the last week, I'm sure there's a lot of trees and limbs and whatever that folks have accumulated that need to be, burned. So just caution you to, be careful when you do that, and also the dispatch would like to at least be notified that you've, set those on fire so that if a neighbor calls, they don't dispatch trucks out to the site if it's a controlled burn. The other thing is, I've been getting a few calls from folks that been having some trouble getting signed up for AT&T fiber, and I just would say if you continue to have issues, we've got some good contacts within AT&T that we can reach out and get those folks hopefully signed up for the fiber. I know they had about a month and a half that AT&T, some of the installers were on strike, and that kind of set them back and put them behind on getting some of the installations done. But I understand that strike has been settled about a week and a half ago, and they're back to now and doing installing. So if you want AT&T fiber and having trouble getting it or getting a hold of someone, reach out to your magistrate, and they can, I think, reach out to AT&T and hopefully get that done. So, Judge, that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Magistrate Woosley.
Judge, I just want to thank the first responders that helped out over this weekend when we had the remnants of Hurricane Helene come through. Our emergency management director, our dispatchers, fire, police, they all did a great job in handling the response there. And the other thing, I want to congratulate LaGrange Fire on the delivery of their new truck. That's all I have.
Magistrate Tice.
I don't have anything today, thank you.
Magistrate Likens.
Thank you, Judge. Nothing today.
All right, thank you.
Judge.
Yes, sir.
Can I follow up with something Magistrate Jeffrey said?
Yeah, sure.
And Magistrate Dow also. I had an experience about 2 weeks ago. An AT&T, two guys came around, one at 8 o'clock at night, and they came back again the next night. And they were two AT&T people they said they were trying to sell fiber. I think we need to take this to a public safety committee that people are doing that, need to put some magnets or put something on their side of their car so that I asked these two young guys, I said, well, how do I know you're with AT&T? And they said, well, you just have to take our word for it. And I said, well, give me your business card. And they said, we don't have a business card. I said, well, that's even, Anyway, got in the whole discussion with them. So I think we need to maybe look into somehow we can make companies that are going around selling stuff in Oldham County have some kind of identification too.
Well, we have addressed this problem. We have a peddler's ordinance that would be applicable, and all door-to-door salespeople are required, although some aren't aware of it, but the public should be aware of it too, but are required to get go through the police department. They get I believe a background check. They get an ID to wear. So when someone comes to your door without an ID displayed on their person from our police department asking for anything from you, don't open your door, or just tell them to keep on moving, or you can call authorities. But we have a door-to-door peddler's ordinance, and I think that's what would address your issue there. I don't think we can stay out in front of every company that might be hitting the street in some other way, because we don't know who they are until somebody reports them. We welcome people being reported.
It's kind of when you look at the television, you see the commercial where the guy's pulling the magnetic sign off his pickup truck and say, and today we do storm doors.
Yeah, right.
It's, yeah,
Right.
there in the law, there is, you have to have a lanyard. And I've invited a few people off my property because they didn't have the lanyard. So.
Right. All right, thank you for mentioning that, though. Don't forget our hazardous recycling, household hazardous recycling program Saturday at the road department. If you came in, probably saw the steeple is on top of the church building next door. It was in the street this morning. The crane picked it up eventually, and it had it all the way except for about a foot lower down to the church building when fiscal court began. So it might be completed there now. It's a aluminum top. It's not the same one that was there. It's a new aluminum top we had made at Campbellsville Industries. It's been anchored to the building by a steel bar that's on top of the building, and a lockdown system from the steeple, so it won't blow off in a windstorm or something like that. So we're happy to be moving forward. We've waited a long time to have that happen, and so it's a nice addition. And we'll be finished with that building in probably another month to 45 days, maybe sooner. And I think everyone will be pleased when we finally get to the final steps there. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.